In this lesson, we will learn an important concept, and that is the concept of expenditure. And how can we differentiate between consumption expenditure and capital expenditure? Consumption means using or consuming goods and services. Spending money is expenditure. When we buy goods and services, we pay money. The amount we spend is expenditure. There are two types of expenditure we are going to learn in this lesson. Number one, consumption expenditure or simply consumption. Number two, capital expenditure or investment. Consumption means using or consuming goods and services. For example, when we buy Pepsi tin to drink, we are consuming our money and using Pepsi for our satisfaction. I may not have a desire to drink Pepsi, but I need something more expensive like ice cream, which cost 10 dirham. I only have 8 dirham in my pocket. I can play a trick. I will buy 4 Pepsi tins by spending 4 dirham and sell them at the price of 6 dirham. In this way, I will earn a profit of 2 dirham, so I can buy an ice cream. Here, equation is 8 plus 2, which is equal to 10, where 8 is my old money, 2 is my new money, which I earned from the business deal, and 10 is the price of ice cream. Now, in this example, we have employed some business and economic concepts. When a person spends his money to buy a good or service, to use it, this expenditure is called consumption expenditure, or simply a consumption. And person who is spending money for consumption is called consumer. In our example, the Pepsi tin we buy to drink is called consumer good. On the other hand, when a person spends his money to buy a good or service for resale to earn more money, this expenditure is called investment or capital expenditure. Person who is spending money for investment or buying capital asset is called investor or trader. The product he buys is called asset or capital. In our example, the Pepsi I bought to resell is my capital asset. Money I spend is also called capital. Now, from the buyer side, I am not consumer, I am customer who buys goods and services to resell. So, whenever we are spending money to buy goods and services, and these goods and services we are buying so that we can consume it for the sake of satisfaction and to satisfy our needs and wants. So this is called consumption expenditure, and the person who is consuming, he is called consumer, and the good or service he is buying, that is called consumer good. Whereas if a person spends his money to buy goods and services, and those goods and services he is not going to consume, rather he is going to sell to earn more profit, in that case the money you are spending is called investment, and the good or service you are reselling, that is your asset, and the person who is doing investment is called investors. Another example that I can use here, that suppose you have 50,000 dirham in your pocket and you buy a car, and this car you keep for your family use, and you are using it for your personal requirements. This is your consumption expenditure. The amount 50,000 is your consumption expenditure, and the car that you are using or you are buying, that is consumer good. On the other hand, if you are spending same amount 50,000 dirham and you buy the same car, but this time instead of keeping this car at home, you are giving this car to the rent-a-car service so that he can monthly pay you profit, suppose 2,000 dirham. So now you are using this money to earn more money. So this amount that you are spending, this is called investment, and that car is your asset or the capital asset. In this case, You are not consumer, you are investor. So in this lesson we have learned the difference between consumption expenditure and capital expenditure. That's all in this lesson. Thank you very much.